The open world of Resident Evil 9 would be the perfect playground for one of the franchise's scariest elements. Resident Evil 9 will venture into open world territory and potentially feature a stalker enemy. Capcom has dabbled in the open world style in recent titles like Village and the RE4 remake. Incorporating a stalker enemy into an open world setting could effectively reimagine the classic scares of Resident Evil. Capcom has been keeping fans waiting for specific news about what it has planned for Resident Evil. The Resident Evil 4 remake released last year was a huge success, expanding and modernizing the groundbreaking original to create an experience that captured its essence while pushing things forward. After the RE4 remake, the studio was expected to quickly follow up and capitalize on this by revealing what it had in store for the next Resident Evil. Earlier this year, the studio finally officially confirmed that the highly anticipated new main title was in the works, with RE Village director Koshi Nakanishi taking over the project. Beyond that, though, it doesn't offer much else. However, even before that, there were plenty of rumors circulating about Resident Evil 9. One idea that keeps coming up in this discussion is that Resident Evil 9 could go open world. This would be a first for the long-running series. But as Capcom has shown, it's willing to experiment with its formula. And if Resident Evil 9 ends up being the first fully open-world entry, it has great potential to introduce one of Resident Evil's most stressful elements in the form of a relentlessly stalking enemy. There are certainly pros and cons to consider if Resident Evil 9 adopts an open-world structure, since it would be a huge departure from the claustrophobic, linear style that Resident Evil helped to invent, and that has been part of its identity for decades. An open-world title risks eroding some of that edge. On the other hand, Resident Evil Village and RE4, and even more so in the remake, were both closer to the open-world approach in the series. Both titles offer a glimpse of how an open world might work, while keeping much of what makes RE exciting and enjoyable intact. As long as Capcom is able to find a balance between integrating the roots of RE into an open-world design, it could achieve a completely new experience that pushes the series once again into the future, especially in terms of the concerns of a pursuing enemy. Relentless stalkers are a basis of the series, and having Resident Evil 9 have a stalker enemy along the lines of Nemesis or Mr. X would help bridge the gap between RE's familiar elements and potential new direction. One of the criticisms of the RE3 remake was that the Nemesis encounters were more scripted than organic, which dampened some of the tension. Resident Evil 9 could remedy this by incorporating a stalker in a less subdued and limited way, and clearly using the open-world design. Several leaks already indicate that Resident Evil 9 will feature a stalker-type enemy, and while it's best to take it with a grain of salt, it seems reasonable to assume that one will appear in some form. If so, then a good benchmark to use one could be a title like Alien, Isolation, where the stalker's AI analyzes the player's actions and location to threaten him in a dynamic and unpredictable way. This keeps the tension high and the fans on the edge of their seats. Even at less traditionally tight levels. Perhaps with much larger areas, Resident Evil 9 could also have multiple followers, each ruling a region, like the 4 villains in RE Village. It could then expand on this greatly, with players being able to appear anywhere in a given area based on player positions and decisions. The fact that Resident Evil 9 is open world may be a bold move, but it also provides plenty of room to evolve the classic stalker enemy in a way that fits into a looser structure, while still maintaining the fear that the series is known for.
One thing I do know. I have a job to do, and I'm gonna see it through.
The state of Resident Evil 9 is a question mark for many fans of the franchise, and new leaks claim to have information about what to expect in the next chapter. After the events of Village, many wondered if Resident Evil 9 would directly follow this chapter. According to an alleged playtester cited by Biohazard Declassified, the next Resident Evil entry may continue the story of Megamacete, but it may also have even bigger things in store. From the characters to the main points of the plot, the claims of this anonymous playtester are among the most significant rumors to come out of the nature of the game. Capcom has remained tight-lipped about the next chapter of Resident Evil, but if these leaks carry any weight, they represent a compelling new direction for the series. One of the biggest questions surrounding Resident Evil 9 has been what player characters can expect to see. There have been theories that Chris Redfield will return, but according to these leaks, he will not be playing the main character. Leon and Jill will be the playable characters, which will be exciting for many fans if true. There is hope for a new story involving Leon and Jill, so their potential starring roles will be welcomed by many gamers. Jill and Leon were tasked with investigating an island where the company responsible for creating Eveline resides. Resident Evil 9 would take place 4 years after Village, concluding the story as a trilogy. Blue Umbrella may return. According to these leaks, Jill and Leon will be on a mission to infiltrate the island, where Eveline clones are supposedly being created using Megamacete. More interestingly, there is also the possibility that Rosemary Winters will return, or at least be mentioned.
Evelyn?
Don't you ever call me that again.
Whoa, it's just a joke, Rose.
I can show you things even Chris doesn't know I can do.
Biohazard Declassified reports that his blood will be used to make a vaccine for those infected on the mysterious island. An island setting is quite intriguing, especially with leaks that suggest a wide variety of locations. Of course, none of this is really official until Capcom speaks up and responds to these leaks. Until Resident Evil 9 is ready to be revealed, these leaks will probably be bold rumors until an official announcement proves them true or false. There have been conflicting leaks in the past, so only time will tell if this new set of claims actually details the story of Resident Evil 9.
No.
¡Basta, hijo de puta! ¡Basta, hijo de puta! ¡Bloqueale el paso!
Cabrón. Cabrón.